Hello, 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 everyone here. Good to see everybody in the building today. Good afternoon, and welcome to the JB Show on the Revolutionary Blackout Network. I'd like to give a warm welcome to all of you that is watching here, and just to let you know, the JB Show streams every single Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also catch me on the RBN Roundtable as well as RBN Live during the week as well. I also host my own channel called the JB Font Channel during the week on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are new to the channel, please make sure to put that like button down. And if you like what you're hearing, and as well, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to smash down that subscribe button and click the notification bell just to be notified of whenever we go live so you can see my smiling face right in front of you. So I'd like to say hello to everybody who's also in the chat because this is an interactive program. So I would like to say hello to everybody that is watching live right now. Right now we have Samir coming in saying, I wonder how that worked out for the Germans. I think there was that thing called the Night of Long Knives. We're going to get into it. Thank you so much, Samir. Monarch says, if you really want fascism out of existence, why would any dummy like Marianne Williamson rely on voting on the voting mechanism? Thank you for the comment. It continues. If you're voting for against fascism, that means fascism is already in place. So I guess Marianne will be fine with or without fascism. Ooh. All right. Matthew says, basically, the Overton window closes where there is either fascism or literally nothing. Skeptical Mantis says, without a people's army, the people have nothing. Good to see you. Gabriel says, if the system really worked as a democratic entity, Bernie would have been president 2 times over. I agree. Ivan says, you can Zen fascism with a capital Z. Not exactly sure about that one, but I don't get it, but sorry. David says, smash that like. Thank you, absolutely. Crypticians in the house says, nothing like a chill Sunday morning at RBN. Easy like Sunday morning. By the way, thank you again, ADC, for this mug, as well as thank you as well as and for the mason jar as well for sending me this. I deeply appreciate it. This mug is great, by the way. It's super heavy, but it's great. So Critician continues, saying JB giving more exposure to the mass deceptions of Democrats and rich white capitalists to reduce and hopefully eliminate the culture of propaganda and mass media misinformation and deceptions. Thank you so much. I'm trying. Corporate fascism is now officially on the prowl to devour civilian democracy in service of government by will of the people instead of by will of oligarchs and corporate interests. You see, we have Murphy Mack saying Buffalo shooter dreadlock Rasta. I don't have. I don't know. Unless you're talking about a Bob Marley song, I think it was Buffalo Soldier. I think it was. MJ Anti-Imperialist Party says, I believe you can vote out fascism. Well, I'm going to tell you why I disagree. So we're going to have that interesting discussion. Eric Gray says, what's good, everybody? And this needs to be talked about, especially given the people like Marianne Williamson lack the urgency that plenty of us have. So this is on the lines of a lot of people. A non-user says revolution is the only solution. Terry Connolly is in the house. Terry Connolly says, afternoon, JB and fam. We have creative experiments in the house saying Elon Musk declared class war on office workers. Time for white and blue collar to unite. All right. Sweary Fairy is in the house. She just let a arrow up. Good to see you, Sweary Fairy. All right. Solgato is in the house. Hey, my fellow Rev heads. Good to see you too, Solgato. All right. Uh-oh. Wait. Let me go back up. Don't miss nobody. Hang on. I'm getting back. Okay. Tristy Tom says, let's go. Yes, let's get out of him. Leroy is in the building, says fascism must be punched in the face. Good day, comrades. And I'm going to tell you why I agree with you. All right. Gigantic anime fan says, woo, we got here just in time. Yes, you did, baby. Yes, you did. Anthony, what a sad face. What a sad face, Anthony. We're gonna have a very productive conversation, and we're also going to make sure that we have fun at the same time. But this is something important to talk about. So I'm glad that you're here, though. All right. So Kenyon Perry says, good afternoon, everyone. Oh, I'm sorry. You meant to put a smiley face. Okay. All right. Well, it's good to see you smile, and we're going to make sure you keep on smiling throughout. Malik is in the house, says, hey, y'all, I'm on time. Yes, you are, Malik. So am I. Thank God. Thank goodness I'm on time. Jenna is in the house saying, JB, Jenna. So good to see you. All right. Man, y'all having some conversation in here. Kenyon is in the house saying, smash that like button, everyone. So thankful for you, Kenyon, as well. Anna Jackson says, JB, so good to see you, Miss Anna. Welcome. Lucky Burrito in the house saying namaste. Namaste to you. Namaste to you. Namaste to you. Hello, Brandy Weaver. Namaste to you. Y'all like how I did that, right? To you and Lucky Burrito. So good to see all of y'all. Anthony said, oh, Lord. Ooh, y'all vicious. All right. Boiled rope lampposts. That's an interesting name. Fascism can be voted in, but not voted out. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, we'll get into that. Colin, my homie. So good to see you, Colin. Hey, Colin says, hey, JB. Good to see my brother in the chat from the INN. Also, by the way, thank you so much for showing your face in here, Colin. I want to remind everybody, if you're not following the Indie News Network and following Indie Left, please make sure to do that. They do some great work for us here by promoting a lot of our content. Please make sure, if you're not following Indie Left and the INN, please make sure to do so, because the thing is that what we're doing is we're doing what we call like a cross-pollination, where we all get together and we go, talk about the anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist issues that affect us, as well as we try to have a community of solidarity between all of us, especially, on the independent left channels, especially those of us that are newer. We try to have that, because the thing is that community is deeply important. And I just want to give a shout out to not only Colin, but everybody who's part of the INN, including Indy himself, for just making sure that we continue to have that community that like locked in arms with one another to fight imperialism and this, rapacious and decrepit system that we call capitalism. So thank you so much, and please make sure to follow Indie Left always. All right, so Michelle is in the house. Hi, Michelle. So good to see you. All right, I almost sang your name. I'm trying not to sing no more because I don't want to make anybody's ears bleed. All right. Z is another way other countries say the letter Z. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Emoji says Sunday morning coming down. All right. Who else is in the chat? Oh, Ross says fascism eats itself, but the process eats a lot of people. And one of the things I think that is important is to try to mitigate that so that we get rid of the fascist elements without it eating a lot of people before we actually receive the liberation that we absolutely need. So, David Warshower says, JB, so good to see you. Who else is in the chat? Oh, wait. It scrolls down so fast. All right. Murphy says, yes. Black in the Empire. Black in the Empire. So good to see you, man. Oh, man. Okay, so Black in the Empire, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, you can't beat the system through the system. Oh, you know what? There was a group in the 80s called The System, and they came out with a song called Don't Disturb This Groove. Oh, man, that's one of my favorite 80s songs, period. But yeah, I am so excited. And who else do we have? I think I have somebody joining me. If they are available, then yeah, come on in. The water's fine. Let me see. JMG says you can't vote out capitalism either. We'll talk about that too. Daryl Lawrence says Marianne Williamson is friends with Oprah Winfrey. Enough said. Ghost Start is in here. Good vibes to you, Ghost Start. All right. Santonio Reynolds says fascism will not allow us to simply vote it out. All right. Wavy Particle says, hope you're doing well. I am doing a little bit better. I don't have the dry mouth from the surgery like I did last week. And by the way, this is my first time back since I was in the hospital. So it's good to be back. So good to see all of you in here as well. Robert says, good job on Status Quo. Thank you so very much. I can't wait to have more conversations like this. Sarina says, I believe fascism can't be voted out. We can only choose which brand is in charge. All right. Thank you so much. So I'm time is running away from me, but I want to get to the topic at hand. We'll do one more. Two more. Let's see. Colorado People's News says, starting out. Hey, Nick.
It's been a while since I crashed the JB show. So I was like, I'm crashing your stream, bro.
You crashing my stream, brother?
Yep. It's been a while.
All right. All right, man. I wish you were here. Then you would hand me a bong, and we get to talking. Colorado People's News says, starting records request to Emily Sirota whether she follows corporate regulatory oversight laws of her duties and CCing you and the rest of RBN. Very interesting. Kevin says 9% CIA or comfortable or brainless or sociopath in the chat. Interesting. Okay. So hello to everybody. If I didn't get to you, a blanket hello to everybody that's in the chat. I really want to get to this. So first, I'm going to share my screen. I'm not sure if you actually talked about this already, Nick.
I haven't. I saw what you're talking about. I was like, oh, I can discuss this. I know.
Oh boy.
I know CJ talked about it for a little bit on this show.
Okay.
But I think we need to hear from more RBN members on this topic.
Yeah, I think this is deeply important. Okay, so this is what the dangerous message is. And this message is very dangerous. And I'm going to explain to you why. So the first part is Marianne Williamson. She puts out this tweet. She says, they've been talking about the red wave and midterms for so long, but the decision to repeal Roe v. Wade decision and Uvalde aftermath should change that. The people still need to rise up against fascism, even when the party that should be doing so far more vigorously refuses to do so. First of all, this is very, oh my God. Okay. Okay, let's break down this tweet. So they've been talking about a red wave in the midterms for so long. This is absolutely true because I have predicted, and I am still predicting a very gigantic red wave to come. Especially during this midterms, I think that the blue team or the blue faction of this same party is going to get a shellacking this November. So that has not changed. My opinion on that has not changed. But she further says, but the decision to repeal Roe v. Wade decision and Uvalde aftermath should change that. It will not change it. It will not change it.
What?
Because here's the thing. If that was the case, then all the little white kids that got shot down in Sandy Hook, oh, Democrats should have won. But then who won? Trump won. Wait a minute. Because they look, we've been saying that they're all one party anyway. They just switch spots. Look, you cannot say that you want to be in a different car if you have one driver in the driver's side and the passenger side in the same car going to the same destination, and then you think you're in a different car just because the passenger gets in the driver's side and the driver gets in the passenger side. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. And so this is basically what Marianne is saying, is that, well, you know, all we got to do is just put the passenger in the same car into the driver's seat. But they're going the same destination. This is what, look, my hair looks already wild. I want to pull it out because this is crazy. Nick, please make some sense of this.
Before I dive into this shit lib logic, I want to our man Rome was in the house. Our boy Rome was like, we gonna pop in. We gonna have fun this Sunday.
What's Rome is in here. Oh Lord. JB still got a panel today.
Rome. We won't get you in here. Let's go.
Let me drink my tea.
We gotta see Rome in its full glory, right?
What's going on, man?
I'm gonna like, how convincing is that argument, man? Like, we got Jim Crow Joe in, we got Democrats controlling all the government. But if only we get more Democrats in government, we can somehow get rid of fascism. Even though Democrats doubled down on Trump fascism. Rome, please make sense of this.
If we can't, I mean, like, if I don't see it happening anywhere else, like, if we can take examples from other countries who actually live under, you know, strong arm dictatorships or whatnot. They're not just covering it up like America does with this ugly, stinking ass blanket of whatever. But we have no examples of this actually happening. We have no examples of people voting out fascists. Like, what is a vote to a fascist anyway? I'm gonna look at your vote like, huh, that's cute. Now I'm about to kill you. Like, what the fuck? Or, do you know the definition of fascism? But I think a lot of people, they don't want to come, you know what I'm saying, with the terms of how evil the system actually is and how evil our government actually is, you know, and they're gonna have to face reality like, damn, okay, if we can't vote our way out, how do we stop them? And this is the argument I get a lot because I'm not a fan of voting, you know, up or down, sideways or whatever. And people always say, well, how do you gain power? How did they gain power? How did the people that led the revolution, the American Revolution, gain their power? So we are dealing with the same types of people that took over during the American Revolution. So how did they gain their power? All right, put one and two together. Stop pussyfooting around this shit. You guys are dealing with people who write off your lives daily. Like, what the fuck? If I was in power, man, if I was a dictator or a fascist, you guys are protest, riot, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. It's not going to hurt me. I'm still going to be rich and I'm still going to lead over you, whether you like it or not, like they do now. Fuck.
No, that is the perfect example of a white liberal over here from Marianne Williamson, and the difference between privilege. And you guys saw the difference of privilege between me when I spoke with Destiny. Like, these people who do really well, who dominate our uncivilized society, they want to convince themselves that we just civilize the society because it makes them feel better about their ill-guided games. And for Marianne Williamson said we can vote out fascism, I want to just ask her, what does she think fascism is? What does she think the characteristics of fascism? Why you think
I can show you.
I would love to hear it.
Is Donald Trump upholding Biden's laws? That's what fascism is to these people. Because that's all he was doing. That's all he was doing.
And I bet you guys can answer this question. I'll pass it to you, JB, because I want JB to educate us today, right? they can't even define what fascism is. They don't even know what it is. Just I used to mock conservatives and Trump supporters for being dumb, for lack of a better term, for their political naivete. But liberals are the same. They just toss around terms, and Marianne Williamson going to continue to vote blue, even though Joe Biden doubled down on all of Trump's fascist policies, including cracking down on journalists. But you realize that boutique liberals don't care about Joe Biden cracking down on journalists, cracking down on freedom of speech and BDS, for example. But James, I would love to get your thoughts.
Okay. All right. So first, what I want to do is I would like to finish this part first, just so that we can get to what she said first. So Iconoclast, shout out to Iconoclast, Professor DNA, said, "You can't vote out fascism." Marianne Williamson responds, "You absolutely can." I'm going to show you why. What is fascism? This is, first of all, we need to go to the definition of fascism. Let's go to Merriam-Webster, another Marianne. So let's go and get the definition from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Definition of fascism says a political philosophy, movement, or regime, such as that of the fascisti, that exalts a nation and often race above individuals, that stands for a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and forced suppression and opposition. So that's the definition of fascism according to Merriam-Webster. Now, there is a more detailed version of this that I would like to really get into. And I am going to defer to a professor really quick. Nick, you're going to love me really quick. You're going to love me, man. Okay, so this is Black Shirts and Reds by Dr. Michael Parente, right? In Dr. Michael Parente's book, in Black Shirts and Reds, right in the first part, it talks about the onset of fascism and how it came about. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of this reading, but I'm doing this to give historical context as to what it is and how it parallels to today and how it cannot be voted out. Okay? So this talks about rational fascism, and it's in the first chapter of Dr. Michael Parente's book. So he goes under plutocrats choose autocrats. He said, let us begin at fascism's founder. Born in 1883, the son of a blacksmith, Benito Mussolini's early manhood was marked by street balls, arrests, and jailings, blah, blah, blah. But here's the crazy part. It says, a brilliant organizer, agitator, gifted journalist, he became an editor of the Socialist Party's official newspaper. But many of his comrades suspected him of being less interested in advancing socialism than advancing himself. What does that sound like? Indeed, when the Italian upper class tempted him with recognition, financial support, and the promise of power, he did not hesitate to switch sides. This is part of the reason why we talk about the squad. What in the world has it? Look, we have noticed things. Look, history may not always repeat itself, but it damn sure rhymes. Okay? I'm not saying that they are fascist. What I'm saying is they are becoming more easily malleable to fascists. That's what I'm saying. So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was, it's just like I said, man, you are who you are around. And like I said last time when we was all on the stream together, if all of us had red or blue rags around our face, around our necks, and we said, oh, we're not gangbangers, we just like these flags. What the fuck they gonna call? They still gonna call us gangbangers. Mm-hmm. So we hung around Bloods, we hung around Crips. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's us right here in this crowd. Crips over there.
Yeah.
We merge together. They look at us as what? All right, then. You can't put yourself in a group of people and try to differentiate you. Like, no. This is a crew. This is a group. This is a group of people.
Yeah.
And you are with them. So don't try to play it off like, oh, I'm not one of them. You are one of them once you join them. This is how it goes. That's how every movement goes. That's how every group goes.
Yeah.
You can't go outside of the party lines. You can't go out and give away certain secrets. That's how a group works.
Yeah.
So you're one of them. I don't care what they say, what kind of examples that they make up to say that, oh, we're different from these people because, you know what I'm saying? Oh, they've been in here so long and they're basically war criminals. How long does it take for these people to become war criminals? Not even a year. It didn't even take AOC a year to become a war criminal. It didn't even take Ilhan Omar a year to become a war criminal. So you are who you around. The fuck?
Yep.
Bro, they took down my stream yesterday while I was literally comparing the progressives. I'm gonna post a ton of clips this week, so I need to chill out with the lies. But you guys hear what Lula said in response to Ukraine compared to what the progressives say, like Rome said. So it is funny how our government always run one way for the empire. It's almost like there's a dictatorship of capital in a way, right? But anyway, go ahead, James.
Yeah. So it continues as by the end of World War I, Mussolini, the socialist who had organized strikes for workers and peasants, had become Mussolini, the fascist who broke strikes on behalf of financiers and landowners. Using huge sums he received from wealthy interests, so basically he had bribes from the donors, right? He projected himself onto the national scene as the acknowledged leader of I Fascism di Combattimento, a movement composed of black-shirted ex-army officers and sundry toffs who were guided by no clear political doctrine other than militaristic patriotism and conservative dislike for anything associated with socialism and organized labor. The fascist black shirts spent their time attacking trade unionists, socialists, communists, and farm operatives.
It sounds like Twitter. It sounds like they had their own little Twitter back in the days, because these strategies haven't went anywhere. They still go by these same strategies, and these dumbass Americans, they fall for it every time. You know, they pull you by your strings, by your emotional strings, and you fall for it.
Yeah. So here's the other part that I wanted to bring out. It says to maintain profit levels, the large landowners and industrialists would have to slash wages and raise prices. What are we in right now? The state, in turn, would have to provide them with massive subsidies and tax exemptions. To finance the corporate welfarism, the populace would have to be taxed more heavily, and social services and welfare expenditures would have to be drastically cut. Measures that might sound familiar to us today. What just happened with Medicare? Medicare, our premiums just went up exponentially in order for Biden to give more money to the insurance companies that help fund him. I digress. Okay, so it says, but the government was not completely free to pursue this course. By 1921, many Italian workers and peasants were unionized and had their own political organizations with demonstrations, strikes, boycotts, factory takeovers, and forcible occupation of farmlands. They had won the right to organize along with concessions in wages and work conditions. So they had a little victory, right? But this is the point. To impose a full measure of austerity upon workers and peasants, the ruling economic interests would have to abolish the democratic rights that help the masses defend their modest living standards. The solution was to smash their unions, political organizations, civil liberties. Industrialists and big landowners wanted someone at the helm who could break the power of organized workers and farm laborers and impose a stern order on the masses. For this task, Benito Mussolini, armed with his gangs of black shirts, seemed like the candidate. I'm sorry. Who is funding the police more?
He built the police. He built the police to be what they are today.
Yes. And also in Florida, under somebody like Ron DeSantis, who basically is trying to make protesting illegal. Look, he said, the ruling economic interest will have to abolish the democratic rights that help the masses defend their modest living standards. So, our right to free speech, right? How many black people actually really don't have their Second Amendment right? Because every single time they even think we have a gun when we're unarmed, they're ready to shoot us down dead.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have our rights. And so therefore it's constantly being chipped away.
The simple fact of them harassing us when they think we have a gun, on us, shows that we don't have a Second Amendment as black people in this country. Because if like they can if I was next to a white man with his gun now, I'm pretty sure I would get checked first. I'm pretty sure of that.
Now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say you have Leona Hill, who was just shot and killed, the pregnant lady who was shot and killed by KCPD. And there are a ton of conservatives right now. They're saying, "Oh, well, she had a gun," and that is disputed by on the ground witnesses. But even if she had a gun, if the police can shoot you just because you have a gun, we don't have a Second Amendment. And it's funny how some people have Second Amendment rights while other people do not. There have been shootings where literally was a white shooter on the scene who was apprehended peacefully. But a black pregnant lady who has everyone on the scene has said was no threat gets shot dead because the officer said she had a gun. So tell me more about the Second Amendment right that you guys think we have. You think we have it, but we don't.
Yeah.
And
we, by the way,
maybe in Rome, we don't. Let me just say that.
Yeah. And by the way, that pregnant lady that allegedly had a gun, who did she shoot? That's the question. Who did she shoot? Did she kill anybody? Did she shoot anybody? If that's the case, then Dylan Roof should be dead. But instead, they caught him peacefully with his assault rifle and then took him to Burger King to get a cheeseburger. I'm sorry, what? What? First Amendment right? Okay then. All right. So it continues. Within 2 years after seizing power, Mussolini has shut down all opposition newspapers and crushed the socialist, liberal, Catholic, Democratic, and Republican parties, which together had commanded some 80% of the vote. Basically, meaning that Mussolini did what Zelensky just did, right? Zelensky just did the same thing. So I don't want to spend too much time because I actually really want you guys to actually get this book, but there's one part that I really wanted to get to, and here we go. Okay, found it. Okay, in the December 1932 election, 3 candidates ran for president: the conservative incumbent Field Marshal von Hindenburg, the Nazi candidate Adolf Hitler, and the Communist Party candidate Ernst Thälmann. In his campaign, Thälmann argued that a vote for Hindenburg amounted to a vote for Hitler, and that Hitler would lead Germany into war. The bourgeoisie press, including the Social Democrats, denounced this view as Moscow-inspired, aka Russiagating. Hindenburg was also re-elected when the Nazis dropped approximately 2 million votes in the Reichstag election compared to the peak over 13.7 million. And here's the crazy part. People talk about, because Biden has a D in front of his name, Biden is still a conservative. So basically, Biden's basically Hindenburg.
Exactly.
And he's very, at the very kindest I can be, he is friendly to fascists. At the very kindest that I can be.
I say he's Hitler, bro. I say he's Hitler. because they didn't gave us. If anything, Trump is, you know what I'm saying? Trump is Heisenberg. They didn't gave us, like, we told these people what was going to happen. It happened, and we told them, like, look, if y'all vote for Joe Biden, y'all going to lead us into fascism. Y'all going to lead us into war. You know, rights are going to get stripped away left and right, and he's going to say he's not going to do anything about it, but he can tweet about it. This is what happened, you know. And I told liberals they was going against me. I told them, y'all gave us Hitler and y'all gave us Joe Biden. History shows this. Like I just mentioned in this book, this isn't any secrets or anything. Socialist Democrats, all the people that's against communists, they always gonna ride with fascism, because communists is gonna attack their capital. It's gonna want that land and want that money. You know, they're gonna want control over control back for the people, for the proletarians. So liberals see that, they're like, no, I'm not giving up my mansion. I'm not giving up my sky high apartment for these people. Fuck y'all. So they're always gonna ride with fascism.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Because you keep white people, it's gonna keep the whites on top every time. And who would you rather? And a lot of these people don't even want us to get up because they scared that they scared of black revenge more than black liberation. they thinking black liberation is revenge on white people. So
and we just like, man, leave us alone, man. Give us some rights. Stop killing us. Like, we're not even looking for revenge.
Basically,
the thing is, like we just like, bro, leave us alone, man. Stop fucking with us. But Jay, go ahead.
If we would have had our 40 acres in the mule, I'm pretty sure by now, you know, black Americans would have been probably well off, better off. We would have had our own hospitals. We would have had our own, et cetera, et cetera. But look what happens when we do get together. Even after all of that conflict, even after they didn't give us the 40 acres in the mule, we end up building our own communities, our own banks, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
They done bombed us over 30 times in America. Black communities.
Yeah. But here's the crazy part, though. When you look at things from a historical context, you start to see the similarities. And the actual real part is that, you know, you even had the social democrats decrying whenever we talked about this as Russiagating, basically. Well, for them back in the day, it was Moscow gating, but that's basically what it was. And so whenever we may say something positive about the DPRK, or we say something positive about Cuba, or any other country that is socialist or socialist leaning, then we're constantly being told, oh, you're a Putin puppet, when we're basically giving what's real, the objective truth, instead of it being skewed by corporate media, which they in turn are complicit in bringing in and making fascists look cool. Because what is MSNBC always talking about? Joe Biden, and then they're always talking about Donald Trump. And they try to make sure that there's a gulf between them, this faux gulf. And that faux gulf does not exist because they are basically one and the same.
Yeah, that's why I agree with Rome. I don't understand why people keep getting this wrong. Joe Biden is not the white martyr that MLK was talking about. Like, he's straight up the enemy. He's the man. Like, we all heard of the man growing up. He is the man who built the system. So not only he built the system that Donald Trump, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama abused, and then he took power and he was like, "You fucking amateurs, what are you doing? I'm gonna show you guys how this really done."
It's like you really killed brown people and lock up blacks.
He funding the border industrial complex. Remember, everyone melted down over Trump's immigration policy. Everyone's melted down over Tucker Carlson right now because, like, oh, look, Tucker Carlson's a white supremacist, but Joe Biden is legislating his ideology. Like, so he's literally funding DHS and Border Patrol millions more than Donald Trump. I showed this many times on this show. He's funding our police more. He's sending more military funds. Like, he is to the right of the last Republican, the same way Barack Obama was to the right of George W. Bush. The point being, do not separate the two. They serve U.S. empire and they serve the dictatorship of capital, which is why income inequality will continue to get worse. The rich will always win. Goldman Sachs never lose an election. Like, even if you vote in 2022, Marianne, Goldman Sachs and Wall Street will still have a ton of power, right? Our girl, Savvy Sav's in the house. So tired of Tucker Carlson. I don't know how people don't see through his game, what he does. I remember I saw him do a segment because he would pretend to be economic populist. He was talking about how the Democratic Party is giving away all this money to Ukraine. And I'm like, oh man, that's a good point. Then he somehow he pivoted and he was like, yeah, this is because of wokeness and trans people. He started bashing trans. I'm like, bro, what the hell what does our corrupt capitalist oligarchs have to do with trans people? And he always does that. He connects like an important issue. And then he's like, this is because they're teaching gay people in the classroom. I'm like, those issues have nothing to do with each other. And that's that is what he does. Like, because late-stage capitalism is so bad, even the disinfected racist white redneck is feeling it. So the last thing the Republicans want, I'll pass right to you, Jimmy. I won't be too long. The last thing the Republicans want is a real economic populist to jump in and unite everyone. But what they want a culture warrior like Tucker Carlson to talk about working class issues and then blame a boogeyman, create a culture war boogeyman to distract the workers from the issue at hand and the enemy at hand. So that's the role that he played. But go ahead, JB.
No, look, Tucker Carlson. If you ever get a chance to watch this, I'm going to tell you something right now. I want you to come close to the camera, okay? My affinity to rub a hairy thigh is not what's making the country worse. Why does that matter? What business of it is yours? And what business of it is if I talk about my sexual orientation, but you're okay with your talking about your sexual orientation, is that fair? I thought you were about free speech. Okay. You're about free speech for especially wealthy white people, right? Okay. Yeah. What about talking about the connection between how we were treated as Black people and the systems in the United States that held us back? You know, about especially, you know, and certain facts, like we weren't allowed to have life insurance back then, you know, back in, you know, like the 30s and 40s. We weren't allowed to have it, right? We weren't allowed to have mortgages. We were shut out. Oh, but that's okay because you think that it's going to make your kids feel bad. The thing is that the people that are Tucker Carlsons are equal to the John Kings. They are equal to the Andrea Mitchells. They are equal to the Chuck Todds. They are all part of the same thing. The only difference is that they're both part of the same team. They're just voicing for different sides. That's basically what it is.
Can I show you guys something? I want to make a point since we on this point on Tucker Carlson. I want to take this time to implement some discipline for you guys and my take on the modern culture war, because this is something I saw on Twitter. I was trying to ratio this guy. I think I did a good job at least digging in. This is a giant account, and this is your brain on Tucker Carlson.
Man, I hate this nigga.
And there are a lot of people who keep doing this shit, and it's annoying. And I'm explaining why. Look at this tweet. He said, "How did my generation go from watching South Park, playing GTA, listening to Eminem, and laughing at people who want to censor them, to safe spaces, trigger warnings, and words are literally violence?" And let me ask you guys this: how many people do you know like this? And I'm like, go outside, bro. Like, these people are super online. This is my response. I think a lot of people like this because I did a late ratio, almost 1,000 likes. I commented almost really super late. I said, because you guys are obsessed with the culture war and you guys are too online and they focus on a very small but loud minority of people and they generate outrage serotonin, making up this person that doesn't fucking really exist. So look at this tweet. He said, "How we go from watching South Park, playing GTA, listening to MM. Who do you think the boomers right now are watching South Park? Do you think they're playing GTA 5, GTA Online?" And my personal experience, I don't know anyone who's going around like creating safe spaces, being triggered all the time. Like, this is a modern culture war that was developed by capitalists to divide the workers, to get the workers fighting over small, insignificant differences in culture. Do you think this guy is struggling? Do you think Tucker Carlson, the people who push this culture war are struggling? Like, if you just go outside and talk to ordinary people, you realize this woke boogeyman is not real. It does not exist. Like, people just trying to pretend and make this culture war a bigger thing than what it is. You want to know what's important? What's important is the fact that people don't have health care, that people are about to go homeless, the fact that people are living paycheck to paycheck. Like, I have friends that work 2 jobs, that work 60 hours a week. Do you think they give a fuck about trigger warnings, pronouns and shit? We care about working class issues. But people like Tucker Carlson and this guy and a lot of the conservative people online, and then a lot of liberals, they have their own culture war as well. They try to pretend that this culture war mob is taking over our society. But I see more people complaining about this culture. I see more people complaining about, oh my God, the woke mob, than I actually see the fucking woke mob. Yeah. It's just literally people trying to, I want the workers to fight each other. I want you to hate trans people so you can divide the workers and get trans people uncomfortable so you guys don't come together as a working class coalition. If you attack trans people, you are attacking the working class. This is why the Soviet Union was one of the most accepting and one of the earliest societies who accepted gay people. You cannot divide the working class. Yeah. And by engaging that culture war, you are doing the bidding of the capitalists. And that is what that guy don't understand. Yeah. And that's what Tucker Carlson do understand. And that's why they push it, because they want to divide the workers. Right. And then I do want to make something clear. Right. Because they are purposely getting this wrong. You guys see the Marines pushing wokeism. You guys see the CIA pushing wokeism.
I saw that.
You see the FBI pushing wokeism, and then they think that's a part of the left. No, that's a psyop of the capitalist class. We have one party, one dictator in this country. So you have the liberals who play their role. They push this wokeism in society that have no business being woke, like the police, like the military. When you look at the Marines, every aspect of society, they push wokeism. They got Goldman Sachs with pride fucking flags up, right? So they do that to hijack our issues when we talk about working class issues, when we talk about interstate violence. So they were like, we want wokeism to be Kamala Harris as vice president instead of us challenging the fact that we have prison slave labor, aka gulag, what they call in other countries. So when you engage with the culture war, agreeing with the right, you are allowing liberals to hijack this issue from disenfranchised communities and making it about something that's really not about woke capitalism. You guys got to understand, both the liberal class and the conservatives are pushing this to divide the workers. They're just doing it in different ways. So sorry, I had to go on that rant because I had to explain this to you guys. Because I see some people fall for this shit. Like, stop falling for the woke outrage. I mean, the outrage over wokeness. Don't stop falling over both of those sides. They want you to have these fights. They want you to be scared of trans people. They want you to be scared of gay people. They want you to be afraid or have judgment over any members of the working class that don't agree with you, because they don't want you guys to come together and challenge the capitalist class. Yep. Even that's if
that's how you feel like the black community. I'm like, I keep telling these people that fall for them, like, you know, that you saying, oh, you speaking that woke stuff and blah blah. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You mean, of course I am awake and I'm a black man that's against America. That's like the most woke.
They literally changed the definition, bro. They literally changed the definition. Well, being woke really, back in our rap song, woke came from the black community. I'm looking at you guys, white leftists, because you guys trying to hijack this shit too. That shit came from the black community in our songs, and it's all about being aware of your surroundings, being aware of your status, and how to improve yourself. That is what it means.
Socially conscious.
Like, look at all our old rap songs. So what? And I'm telling you guys, white liberals hijacked that term from us because they understood it was empowering. So being woke back in the day was like, yo, the police state is crushing me. I'm a black man. The police state is crushing you too, white guy. Let's come together. I said that back in the day, like, damn, that motherfucker's woke. Because you understand what the problem is. You're aware of your surroundings. So liberals understanding this, they took that term and they were like, we're gonna make being woke all about identity politics. Kamala Harris, a black woman as vice president, first black man. We want a first black lady who's a weapon defense contractor, right? And when white leftists join with conservatives like Tucker Carlson and agreeing with this concept, you guys are allowing the white liberal class to hijack this term of empowerment from us. And you guys are doing it in the service of what? You guys are doing this in the service of breaking up the workers to get the workers from fighting each other. So all these fucking culture wars you see the right pushing, how does that? I'm asking you guys, before you engage in it, ask yourself, how does this help the workers? Like, how does complaining about the woke mob, how does that help the workers? And if you're a Marxist, if you're a socialist, you should have no business engaging in this shit.
And then, like, if you go into the hood, you go into our neighborhoods, man, a lot of these people, they don't know your Twitter. They don't know this Twitter, this Facebook bullshit. They're not in these little wars that you are in. And if you was to go in, let's say some people for a communist party go in and try to recruit some black people, and then you're speaking against being woke, they're going to look at you like, are you racist? Because those are, like, words mean different things in different places, right? Now that we, you know what I'm saying? Because these people that's not online, they don't know that Democrats took our word. You know what I'm saying? We got real Black Panthers out here that's not online, and they still call themselves woke. We listen to woke music, Jill Scott Heroin. You know what I'm saying? So if you come out there speaking against being woke, what do you want to do? Put us to sleep?
Yeah, exactly. What the
fuck? What you complaining about being woke for? What the hell's wrong with you?
I mean, look, back in the day, woke was just another word for socially conscious. That's what it was. And whenever you talked about people who were socially conscious, then you talked about people who were awake, like people who woke, like Lupe Fiasco. He's woke, right?
Tupac was.
It's just, people like oh my God, Stevie Wonder. He put out some stuff about being about species socially conscious. What about Chuck D and Flavor Flav? They were talking about socially conscious things. They were considered woke. The thing is that that's all. It's what liberals have done was pervert the definition of what woke is. It's good to be woke, but the thing is that they perverted it for their own material gain instead of building up everybody who is disenfranchised. And that's what it was.
And this is why you guys need to listen to Black leftists too, man, because there are a lot of people who are getting this issue wrong, where they and trust me, guys, there's no one who actively try to own the limbs more than me. Like, literally, I pissed so many liberals off on Twitter. They all fucking block me. People hate me because I go to the Democrat Party.
They still got a Reddit about you.
Yeah, they literally had a hate subreddit about me because I bash liberals so much.
Really?
Guys, there are a lot of great ways to bash liberals. Do not join the side of them hijacking our term. Do not join the side of the culture war on the right. There's a lot of great ways you can do it. You don't have to be a culture warrior to bash the live. Look at what I cover. Look at what I tweet.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to show this video because I think this is appropriate for our conversation. You guys want to see what woke look like? Tupac Shakur was woke, right?
Yeah.
And this is what we meant when we said this, right? So let's check this. Let's check this video out. You guys know what I mean, right? I love this video.
Yeah. Okay.
It's too much money here. I mean, nobody should be hitting lotto for 36 million and we got people starving in the streets. That is not idealistic. That's just real. That is just stupid. There's no way Michael Jackson should have, or whoever Jackson should have $1 million, quadruple billion dollars, and then there's people starving. There's no way. There's no way that these people should own planes and their people don't have houses, apartments, shacks, drawers, pants. We all know how hard it is, and it's not about if you good or you bad. So since it's not about if you good or you bad, we know that because he don't mean he was bad. Or don't mean he's a criminal, or don't mean he's crazy, or a drug addict, or none of that. It just means he don't got. I mean, can you imagine somebody having $32 million? $32 million. And this person has nothing, and you can sleep. You can still go to the movies about, I mean, and then these are the type of people that get humanitarian awards. It's too much money.
You guys think Tupac was complaining about 32 million back then? Wait till you see how much our billionaires make now. Hundreds of billions of dollars. I think I correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I'm going on my memory, but I think Elon Musk hit 250 billion, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't memorize these people well. They're not my priority, right? But you guys see the number he was complaining about back then. That is what we would call woke back in the day. Like back in the day before the liberals could successfully hijack, because I think they have been successful.
Yeah.
Successfully hijacking it. Back in the day, we would look at that like, damn, that motherfucker woke as hell. What's the negative connotation to that? There's nothing negative about being intelligent. Our society is so anti-intellectual. They make it somehow being intelligent, being aware of your surroundings is somehow a negative thing. Because there are people who in the liberal class, the Democratic Party, who purposely try to lead workers off a cliff because they are class conscious towards capital.
Yeah. I have some notes that I want to go over that I wrote down for this stream, and I would just like to go over it really quick. And hopefully this will make some sense. I don't know, my brain, the way it works. Hopefully, you guys will take something out of this. But how is fascism prevented? To prevent fascism, you need to create conditions where people do not feel oppressed. This includes white people too. You need to give them housing, education, wages, livable wages, and good working conditions. Environmental and ecosystems need to be uplifted. And then also we need to have our privacy laws back and the way they should be. Okay, stronger worker representation and direct democratic systems, both in government and in the workplace. Now, this would make it impossible for oligarchs to place blame on a group for the plight of another group if the former group has their material conditions and rights met. Their numbers would be minuscule, and the risk for allowance of fascism is drastically lowered. When people feel that they are suffering, they need someone to blame. If the person who is actually to blame owns the media apparatuses and the dissemination of information, then they control the narrative and can direct the blame to people who have little to no power. Thus, they can dehumanize these minorities and make the majority feel desensitized to the oppression by state forces, which is spearheaded by oligarchs in our system. These same people are also willing to give up their rights and for the sake of law and order, even if the laws are unjust and the order is detrimental to humanity. Look at how many liberals today are okay with censorship, or how many conservatives are okay with recent combat of our laws regarding free speech rights. Critical race theory, don't say gay, placing barriers on the conditions of protesting, etc. Or how many turn a blind eye when the government literally treads on Black people when we try to exercise our rights as citizens. Fascism is corporate rule in order to keep the masses in line to enrich themselves as a small minority and want to get rid of any group of people who stand in the way of their regression. If Trump was considered fascist by the policies he implemented, then what does that make Biden if he's continuing these same policies?
You would think they would be able to answer or at least clarify this point. This is a point I have been making for years, well, at least 2 years since Biden taken over. Ever since he doubled down on Trump's policy, I'm like, okay, Trump is fascist, and Biden does the same thing. Trump, what does that make him? It's very simple logic that you think these people will catch up on, but I'm telling you guys, propaganda hit people that you even think is woke. Like they say the good things sometimes. Like Marianne Williamson, every once in a while say, "Oh yeah, I support reparations, I support Medicare for all." But y'all think she can't be propagandized? People are propagandizing to saying stuff that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Regarding Marianne, do you guys remember when she was advocating for the United States staying in Afghanistan?
Yeah.
Because she was like, "Oh, we gotta protect the Afghan women. We gotta protect we need U.S. imperialism to protect the women of Afghanistan." Now, I got a question for you guys. Ever since the United States has stolen Afghanistan funds, and now they're starving millions of Afghan women, over 13,000 infants died because Afghan women could not produce breast milk for their children. When do you guys have you guys seen Marianne Williamson talk about the Afghan women ever since Biden sanctioned them to
No,
death?
she's not.
No, so she was for the Afghan women when it means keeping our troops in Afghanistan, but now she don't care about them now that we're gone. What do you call that? This is a propagandist. That'd be one thing if she was all the time like, oh my God, I wanted to protect Afghan women and you guys are starving them to death. She's never talking about them ever again. She literally repeated that talking point that came from MSNBC, that came directly from Raytheon. And now that they didn't accomplish their objective of keeping Afghanistan troops, she moved on. That one event should have exposed her forever as a propagandist for not only the Democratic Party, but for the war machine. She's also a Zionist who was saying stuff like, oh, Israel has the right to defend itself. Israel has the right to this. Guys, you guys realize she was saying this as Israel was bulldozing homes in Palestine, and they was literally executing journalists, bombing the country. And she was saying, well, you guys on the left again, it's wrong. Israel had the right to defend itself.
So
we got
Savvy said
that's why a lot of people did get mad at me when I called her a white supremacist again. But she is. What can I say about these people? What else can you say about these people? You can't call them progressive. Yeah. You can't call them, corporate or moderate. Stop calling them these things. They uphold white supremacy, and that's what they are. They are white supremacists. Stop tiptoeing around it. Now, the more that we do this, the sooner we can get these people the fuck up out of here. The sooner we can label these people as white supremacists and really hold their feet to the fire and say, like, no, you're not doing anybody any favors. You're upholding white supremacy. Once you tell these people that shit to their face, they're either gonna get with it or get the fuck on. And this is what the fuck we need to be. Blunt with our messaging.
Yeah.
We can't keep on having conversations with these people and say, hey, look, I know you want to vote for Biden after he locked up my family, but let's come to some agreement to you not doing that. No, I'm not fucking talking to you people no more. Y'all niggas are white supremacists, bro. Blacks, whites, browns, anybody upholding white supremacy is a white supremacist. Barack Obama, all of you, whoever voted for Joe Biden, you uphold white supremacy. I ain't playing with none of y'all anymore. We are dying out here. We are starving out here. Not only just us Americans, but we are killing the world. We are killing the world with this rhetoric. We are killing the world with our words. Words are weapons. And if you're not using them right, then they're gonna use their words right against you. Like she's saying, you can vote out fascism, and some of you actually believe that bullshit.
So just to be fair, Sabi Sab says that she did come back and apologize for that one regarding the Afghan women. Just wanted to make sure.
Thank you for that, Sabi, but guys, I'm done with that shit. How many times these motherfuckers like, oops, sorry, accidentally pushed for war, my bad. Bro, of course, bro, she wasn't supposed so bad for saying that shit. So now that she did her psyop to get people wanting to stay in Afghanistan. So now the psyop is over. She got to win that trust back so she can push the next psyop. Oops, sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to push this war. Please forgive me. But then she'll be here. Remember, she just said, we got to send all the weapons to Ukraine. Send more weapons to Ukraine. She was just saying that not too long ago. So she was really sorry from her Afghanistan take. Why are you pushing the proxy war in Ukraine?
Yeah.
She's not sorry. She's just saying it so she can get her clout back. So she can get you guys back to supporting the next war. Every single war she was there cheerleading for ever since I've seen her in the public sphere. She was literally saying, I can see if I dig up the retweets. She's like, we need to send more weapons to Ukraine. Like, how many times you gotta be wrong in issues? That she's wrong in Israel? She's a Zionist. She said Israel had the right to exist. She was wrong in Afghanistan. She was wrong in the Ukraine proxy war. How many strikes are we giving her? That's 3 already. I'm a benefit of doubt. That's 3.
3 strikes you out. 3 strikes you out. I thought that's how it worked. But these people have, you see, like, okay, these people can literally advocate for killing people, right? But we better not say nothing homophobic back in the days. We better not have hit a kid. You better not jaywalk. You better be, you know what I'm saying? If you are critiquing these politicians, you call yourself a revolutionary, a socialist, you better have the cleanest fucking record, right? But these people can literally kill people. And they get endless amounts of support from these motherfuckers. Get the fuck out of here. That's
That's
why.
such a
That's
great
why these
point, 'cause
cancellations out there will never work. Because I don't
That's
bow to them. Fuck
Dude,
them.
that's such a great point, because they will cancel activists for old social media posts. Like, I remember they were trying to cancel you for old posts that you long apologized for, right? But then ordinary people will get canceled for like ordinary social media posts. Meanwhile, Marianne Williamson will literally advocate for the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians, and people are like, "Oh, we forgive her." What? Can we get serious? Which one is more impactful? Her literally repeating pro-war propaganda every single time the media needs her to, or someone just saying some socially insensitive comment on social media. We need to develop some revolutionary discipline. Take those time to educate people, like me and Rome have. We haven't always been perfect, but we took those time to educate ourselves and get better. But there's a difference between that and someone who constantly repeating pro-war shit. Constantly.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I have some info. I have some information on fascism whenever you're ready, JB, because I think it's also
Okay.
interesting. But go ahead.
Yeah, but there's a point that I wanted to make. Everybody always talks about hindsight being 2020, right? And they say, well, we didn't know any better back then, but we know better now. That being said, hindsight it is crucial to know historical analysis so that you can have that hindsight. And it's not like we don't have it. We literally have it in front of our fingertips. Many of you right now are watching either on a smart device, smart TV, on your computer, and you literally have the internet at your fingertips to find this out. That being said, those people who are saying that you can vote out fascism are the same people who have the same access to this information that we do as well, right? That being said, then you can't sit there and say this when looking at the historical context, which I just found that it is possible. And the thing is that every single
lead us to this shit, bro. They're gonna do this. This is their fucking job, man. The playbook of the CIA, the playbook of the FBI. This is her job. Mm-hmm. She's just doing her part. It's the reason why she has a fucking platform. There's a reason why, because she's not a real threat to capitalism. If she was, she wouldn't be alive. She wouldn't have the platform that she has now. She wouldn't have the millions of dollars that she has now. So all these people coming with their smiles and handshakes, kiss my ass, bro. Because I know that you would never do nothing to really challenge power, man. You're always gonna lead us to fascism, because if y'all ever dabble into communism, you're gonna look at your life and you're gonna look at what capitalism wants, and you're gonna say, no, because I love my capital. I love owning multiple lands, multiple houses, while people are fucking homeless. I love the millions of dollars while people are poor. I love the millions of dollars that I hoard from the working class, the profits that I steal from my workers.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to show a quote by the daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Bernice King. She just came out and said something interesting. Bernice King, daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King, said, "Please stop using out of context quotes from my father to excuse not working to eradicate racism. His content of their character quote lines within a full speech, I Have a Dream, in which she talks about ending racist police brutality and economic injustice." She continues, "So many evoke Martin Luther King Jr. to maintain inhumanity and injustice, but he taught about and worked to eradicate what he called the triple evils of racism, militarism, and poverty. And he wasn't a purveyor of negative peace, which seeks order while injustice remains. That's not nonviolence." With that being said, one of the things that I want to bring out in accurate form is what Dr. Martin Luther King said about, of course, we like to quote this a lot on RBN, from the lettering of the Birmingham jail when he talked about the white moderate. So we have to go over it again. He said, "First, I must confess that over the last few years, I have been gravely disappointed with the white moderate. I have almost reached a regrettable conclusion that the Negro's great stumbling block in the stride towards freedom is not the white citizens counselor or the Ku Klux Klaner, but the white moderate who is more devoted to order than to justice, who prefers a negative peace, which is in the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is in the presence of justice, who constantly says, I agree with you in the goal you seek, but I can't agree with your methods of direct action, who paternalistically feel that he can set the timetable, or she can set the timetable for another man or woman's freedom, who lives by the myth of time and who constantly advises the Negro to wait until a more convenient season. And this is the point I want to make. Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. Lukewarm, or some of us say milk toast, acceptance is much more bewildering than outright rejection. And the thing is you can vote out fascism trying to be that fence sitter and saying, all you got to do is vote it out. It's like, no. Look, if fascism was able to have been voted out, then we would have never had the Second World War. Why are we sitting here pretending like the Second World War never existed? Because it did. It existed.
Them people benefited off of the second. These are people that benefit off of the Second World War. These people have, have money from the slave, from their family owning slaves and whatnot, and have capital and shit. So no, they're not gonna really. They're gonna say, these are the type of people that say, "Oh, communists had a genocide. They genocided people."
Mm-hmm.
When they was fighting Nazis that was trying to take over the fucking world, right? These people are not going to come out strongly against no shit like that. They benefit off of it too much to this day.
To this day. That's why that quote earlier said that could have easily been written today. Guys, if you don't know, my theory, I read a lot of socialist theory just because I'm a nerd, right? But MLK, Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, those are my theory. That was my theory. I got to Marx and Lenin later. Those are people I've read. Those are the people who taught me my shit. And then I built all that off that. Read all the shit that Malcolm X wrote. Watch all his speeches. No one's political ideology aged better than his. Everything he warned about regarding the black liberal, the white liberal, capitalism, imperialism has came true. He criticized the civil rights movement, and he was telling them things they wasn't getting right. And now looking back at it, all his criticism of the civil rights movement was spot on because the civil rights movement was left undone. The life expectancy rate had dropped for Black Americans since the civil rights era. The income inequality gap between Black and white Americans is higher than it was in the 60s. So I don't want to say the civil rights era was very important. It's still a lot of revolutionary discipline in our community. Brought us together. It got us a little bit of gains. But it has been left undone because they replaced it with a new Jim Crow. And they started using prison slave labor. They started going after they started over-policing our communities. They started stealing our wealth legally via civil asset forfeiture, which impacts Black people at 65% rate compared to everyone else. Literally 65% of the civil asset forfeiture cases, despite us being 13% population, is us. This is the new Platt codes. And this is what they left undone when a lot of them joined the side of the police state in the 90s. When they straight up sold us out. People like Jim Clyburn sold us out. Right?
Yeah.
So those people have been 100% on the ball and calling out our system. And their shit aged gracefully as hell.
Yeah. And also, I just want to ask this question. How can you vote out fascism if the binary choices are both complicit in allowing fascism to take place within the United States? What do I mean? Let's go. Let's do a little lesson. Just go to Wikipedia. Just Google it. Operation Paperclip. What was Operation Paperclip? Operation Paperclip was a secret United States intelligence program which more than 16 100 Nazi German scientists, engineers, and technicians were taken from former Nazi Germany to the U.S. for government employment after the end of World War II in Europe between 1945 and 1959. Basically, meaning they were in our government. What makes you think that their ideology has changed? They literally brought in Nazis, and Operation Paperclip existed between Republican and Democratic presidencies, Republican and Democratic administrations. So that being said, if you really want to get rid of fascism, you might want to start with the two parties that are in power right now.
Boom.
And they always ask, well, how do we stop fascism? How do they stop black movements? How do they stop indigenous movements? Right? Now ask yourself
with a gun.
Right. The same things with the same things that you are trying to take away from the proletariat. Now think about this. You are living in a fascist country. In a fascist country. And you are asking yourself, you are seeing your comrades getting murdered and killed, and your civil rights movements dying out, get co-opted. How did they kill it? They took off the leader. They chopped off certain leaders, certain mouthpieces. Right? All right then. Yeah. There is no way to swivel your way out of this corner. We are boxed in the corner. We are beaten down. You have to fight back. You have to stand up. There is no piece of paper that you can hand out and he read, oh shit, it's not my turn anymore, I guess. You give him that vote, then he's going to give it to the next motherfucker, and they're going to continue to beat your ass. It always happens, because every president we have lost more. So what is the use? What is the use to even doing this anymore? Or asking yourself, well, how do we do this? You know how to do it. You know how to do it.
Thank you for the super chat. I just want to read the super chat real quick. U.S. leftists consider imperial core countries like Sweden socialist, but DPRK and Cuba are red fascists to them. I wonder why they think so. And Sweden and Finland played an active role in the exploitation of the global South. Sweden is one of the largest arms dealers. In fact, they helped arm the genocide in Yemen. But Democratic Socialists love them. But then they always bash on DPRK and Cuba. They have anti-communist Chomsky brain, as I call it, right? They push Western chauvinism, and then now the U.S. left is super surprised, like why is our life expectancy rate falling lower than a lot of these other countries who actually had revolutionary discipline, who actually applied Marxism instead of allowing the United States capitalist class to demonize them and place a suitable left that they call social democracy. Social democracy is very suitable for them because it maintains their power. What a real active militant left will be looking for is to gain power itself by taking theirs. And now if you look at South America, look at the socialist victories that we have gotten electorally recently. They are winning elections left and right. We can't even talk about elections here because we are so far behind. We have been beaten down by the system because a suitable left built by the Social Democrats, spearheaded by Bernie and DSA and a lot of those thought leaders that are part of the boutique media sphere, because they know they can't go too far left and they can't rebuke Western chauvinism. If they do, they will lose numbers. They want to maintain a strong footing in white America, and actually it's not a good strategy for us in terms of the media arm to challenge its power. Like, it would be better for us to say, oh, we social democrats, oh, we are Bernie Democrats, we want Medicare for all, but we believe in U.S. hegemony. If you repeat that, you'll be better served in this media sphere, because that is how the United States left have been groomed for decades and decades. And this is, I'm not making up, this literally was a CIA op. Even Caleb Maupin, he does a good job talking about this as well. They literally infiltrated to create a suitable left. That's why you had a strong anti-communist sentiment that came from the unions. Then DSA was created, and DSA's goal was to let's get socialists away from communism and back into the Democratic Party. But so I went in my rant there because I just wanted, that was a good super chat like that.
Think about it like this. You got to think about it. When these people call themselves socialists, like socialists, we have white supremacists that are socialists, right? We have the Socialist Party, right? This party was funded by KKK members, Nazis, whatever you want to call them. They're calling themselves socialists in the Democratic Party. They're basically admitting to being Nazis, like straight the fuck up. Because how the hell can you upkeep capitalism? How the hell can you fight for white supremacy and vote for all these white supremacists and call yourselves a socialist? What socialist? What kind of socialist?
There's one more thing I want to say. I'll pass right back to you, Jay, because this is super interesting. Why do you guys think there was global solidarity among DPRK, China, and Cuba, and Venezuela? Because we all understood the USSR as well. If you are a real Marxist and socialist, you gotta understand you gotta fight imperialism. What is imperialism? As Lenin highlighted, it's an economic order, a domination. So look at the United States and how they're trying to destroy Venezuela because Venezuela don't believe in neoliberal capitalism like the United States. They're not a puppet state. So they wanted to implement Juan Guaido so they can have a U.S. economic puppet. This is the same thing they did to Somalia. They did this throughout the global South, and they've been responsible. They have intervened in over 40, they've been like 40, 50 elections trying to implement this capitalist economic order. That is what the imperialism that Lenin spoke about. So historically, countries like Cuba, the DPRK, Venezuela, when you look at other socialist revolutions led by Hugo Chavez as well, they built a coalition to fight U.S. imperialism because they understood they need a socialist global order to defeat the capitalist global order because the Cold War was a class war. Now think about what the U.S. left does in response, though. AOC literally follows Juan Guaido and supports the capitalist economic domination of Venezuela. So literally the United States left, led by DSA and a lot of these social democrats that demonize countries like DPRK and communism, they are literally joining the capitalist economic order. That's why they voted to send $40 billion to Ukraine. That's why AOC first vote was to expand NATO. Bernie Sanders has been a NATO simp his entire career because they are not really socialists. They're not really leftists because they joined the capitalist imperial core. But anyway, I'm in that let's get into the weeds.
If they are socialists, they are nationalists. They are national socialists. They are white supremacists. And like I said, like we need to stop calling them moderates or left or right. Just call them white supremacists. All of them. Every politician, every last one, whether they be black or white. All of them are white supremacists. And we need to address them as that. Straight the fuck up. And really put it in their mind, like the people, what the people think about you, because this is what they are.
Yeah, that's why we try to make that distinction, Sabi. But go ahead, JB.
Yeah, because the thing is that, I mean, even Parente himself said Bernie's more of a liberal Democrat than anything. I mean, that's what Parente said, and the thing is you can't sit here and try to talk about how you can vote out fascism when, we've been, we literally went over a war on it. We had a world war trying to defeat it. And so sitting here thinking that you can just vote it out is ignorant at best and deceitful at worst to say such a thing. And that's one of the reasons why I titled it the way I did, because this is very dangerous in order to say that, because then you make people lackadaisical to the prospect of fascism. Oh, we don't have to get out into the streets. All we got to do is vote it out. And the thing is that you can't, because fascism literally is in the fabric of our government right now. Literally. Now, one thing that you can do to kind of what's the way? Kind of set us up for some type of success after defeating fascism is by, voting, maybe implementing some people who may be third party, or independents who are anti-capitalist and anti-imperialist, especially in local governments. But on top of that, your direct action has to be extremely heavy.
Yeah. Yeah,
and they have to be involved in that direction, as that direct action to rid us of fascism as well. Because if they're like Kirsten Sinema, then guess what? They're an op. Because guess what? Benito Mussolini used to be a socialist. And then guess what? He became the fascist. So the thing is, you also have to have that. But it takes a lot of integrity and be able to resist a lot of the people who are trying to get to co-opt you. And I actually have a video that I want to share of AOC. She said something recently. I'm not sure if you guys caught it, but
yeah, I think I saw it.
You think you saw it? Okay. But I just want to share this. It's, Out of the Hill, where they were talking about what AOC said. So just give me 1 second. Let me share my screen and make sure that you guys see this. All right. So hang on.
She got no video. I ain't seen this yet.
Yep.
I saw it this morning. That's what I get.
All right. I'll see you guys on the other side.
It's just really wild to be a person that works in a corrupt institution, which is what Congress is. And to try and be a normal person surrounded by so much decay and moral emptiness that frankly transcends party is very difficult. I was up until 5 o'clock in the morning last night. I could not sleep thinking about those babies.
So here's my question.
Which babies?
All the babies that she got killed.
No, I'm seriously asking that question. Which babies? You gotta be more specific, AOC. We live in an evil empire. Are you talking about the Uvalde babies? Are you talking about the Afghanistan babies? Are you talking about the Palestinian babies? Are you talking about the babies that on ICE detention centers? Are you talking about what babies are we talking about here? We gotta be more specific.
But here's the crazy part, and E. Heller is correct. She literally just admitted that is a single corrupt party. So by her own admission, what we've been saying for an entire year is correct. She literally just made our point. Rome, Nick. She literally just made our point. So why are you still in that party then? Look, she is pretty much going to get reelected, right? For the most part. And if that's the case, then why are you staying within the party, especially after November, if you get reelected? If that's the case, leave the party.
And see, I just wanted to say something about people with this political mindset, and they so uppity and jumpity to hurry up and run for office. This is chess, not checkers, right? So in order for us to actually not only protect you and keep your head on, you know what I'm saying? Keep your head close to the guillotine if we need to chop it off if you get too far away from us. You need people around you. You're going to need an army. You're going to need your military. You're going to need a team of people that's willing to fight and die for these things. How in the hell are we going to really take power by just joining their parties? You take power by literally taking power, right? And then if you have that political mindset, if you have the smarts to sit here and write bills for hundreds of millions of people for here and across the world, then we can put you up there. We can protect you, et cetera, et cetera. This is chess, not checkers, right? We need revolution for any of this to work, for any of your ideas to come into play. You can say you believe in whatever. I worship Goku. I believe in Goku. Nigga,
Kamehameha, baby.
Like even I know, but come on, man. Let's be realistic about these things here. Like, oh, I believe in Medicare for all. Okay, well, how are you going to get that done in your city, in your district? How are you going to get that passed? Anyway, If you can't do it nationally, how are you going to get it passed in your city? At least tell me that, and then I'll give you my support. Then I'll give you my money, and I'll go canvas. But they can't even do that. All that I believe in shit is stop believing these people, bro. Because they are there to gain capital. She might be feeling guilty right now, but once that check come, you forget all about them babies again.
Hey JB, that video is 50 seconds long. You want to play it again?
Okay.
Let's play it again.
But
I know she did not. I know she did not. But let's play it again. Before I comment.
But here's my thing. I honestly do believe that she had a moment of clarity where she literally spoke the truth. She really spoke the absolute truth. And it was out of emotional frustration. And so here we go.
It's just really wild to be a person that works in a corrupt institution, which is what Congress is. And to try and be a normal person surrounded by so much decay and moral emptiness that frankly transcends party is very difficult. I was up until...
Oh my God, shut the fuck up.
I could not sleep thinking about those babies.
Okay, my turn. So, I love you, JB. But, I mean, we love JB because he's nice. JB always have the best faith interpretation. So when I say I disagree, I really do mean this in all due respect because JB is a lot more trusting than I am. And JB is kind. I don't believe one motherfucking thing she says. No, bro, she is an actress and she has mastered her role. So you gonna tell me I'm disgusted? I'm disgusted by our corrupt institution as you send $40 billion to Ukraine. Guys, after that vote, all benefit of the doubt is gone. You voted president on the Iron Dome. So when she was like, I'm shocked about the kids. I'm like, AOC, get more specific. Which kids are you talking about? Are you talking about the Palestinian kids that you're complicit with? What about the kids that are victims of police violence? You know, you coordinate your vote in order to fund more money for the Capitol Police. They literally all voted for the U.S. Domestic Terrorism Act, which expands the police state. This is the crime bill 2.0. I reported this on the show. Every single Democrat voted for that. And AOC, when she says this transcends party, say a name. Why do you think she's not saying a name? Because I promise you, she's trying to blame this on Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin. She's not fucking calling out Nancy Pelosi. She's not dropping some bombs. She's not saying names. This is her to protect herself. This is for her supporters, the people who still believe in her, the people who brains are completely broken, the people who can't see through this shit. This is the video for them to be like, well, AOC is trying. But you see how frustrated she is? She's frustrated because the system is corrupt. No, she is 100% okay. She is funding imperialism.
She gave Joe Biden an A+ after he bombed Syria.
So I told you guys I'm a little bit asshole. I've been done believing anything she says. Everything she says is an act. Like, I don't believe it. I just don't. And after seeing how she unapologetically is a foot soldier for the Democratic Party, instead of calling out the war crimes and the state violence that Joe Biden is committing, instead of calling out Joe Biden literally sanctioning seniors by sponsoring a Medicare hike, is she calling that out? No, she starts beefs with Ted Cruz. Like, she be on Twitter starting beef with Ted Cruz. Then she's like, I'm gonna call out Tucker Carlson. So I'm beyond done. She's literally an op, literally here to fight the Democratic Party culture war. In this video, my response to it, because I told you I didn't see this. Like, I literally saw. That's why I had to see it again. Because I want to make sure before I go in, I want to watch it again before I go in on her. Make sure I didn't miss anything. But after seeing it twice, Yeah, she's definitely here to. That video is there to pacify her supporters.
You
Like,
can't
yo, this
stop
is why I did.
Malcolm babies.
And she's really frustrated. Sorry, JB, I'll pass right back to you. This is my last point. So, if she was really frustrated with the inside game, why didn't she join us for the March for Medicare for All? So, if you're frustrated with how the inside game works, why don't you work with the outside game?
Why don't she do what she said she was going to do, Nick? She said, you know, anybody can be the spearhead. You know what I'm saying? They can shake it up if they just get in there and do what the fuck they want and just be a one-term candidate. But no, she's in it for the long run.
Bro, she could have been joining marches. She could have joined our General Strike Summit. Why she not not even just us? I don't have to make it about us. Join any fucking grassroots organization and promote their shit from the outside, using your outside influence to prop up the inside game. I'm sorry, the outside game. Why haven't she done this? God, she has active disdain towards the outside game. She don't want to be seen with us. She don't want to be near us. She don't want to hear our opinions. She don't want to hear our strategy. She want to hear the strategy of Pramila Jayapal. That's who she cares about. But then she want to release this video bitching and complaining about, oh my God, I'm working for the corrupt institution of Congress. It's so corrupt. Shut the fuck up. If you really believe this, you would have been marching with us. Why would you at the Casey Tenants? I was there. When Casey Tenants announced the first ever citywide tenant union, was you there? That's the outside game, AOC. She completely abandoned the outside game. And I heard there are a lot of people who reach out to me. They're the California tenant union that is developing right now. New York tenant unions are developing right now. Is AOC promoting those actions? These actions that we endorse on the outside? Like, that's what she should be spending all her time. Instead, she's voting for $40 billion to fucking Ukraine. Why not vote for $40 billion to Casey Tenants? You motherfucker. Like, that video is infuriating because she is gaslighting. And I'm an asshole, so I'm gonna end it there. Because that's my take. I watched it twice. I didn't see the video before this.
You an asshole. I watched
it twice. That's my take.
At least your shit don't stink right here, because she's shitty as hell. Like,
no, she's wrong. I understand, like, because I can understand the humanization point of this too. Like, maybe she did. Nah, I don't. Bro, like, there's so many things
like, bro, no matter what you think, no matter how you feel about it, you did what you did, and there's actions and there's reactions for your actions, right? You killed babies, bro. You killed people, and you're trying to she's the real asshole for, you know what I'm saying, harming our communities, getting fucking children killed, and trying to gaslight the parents like she feel bad. She's the real asshole here. And no, I don't know how people fall for it. Like, what the fuck?
But she still has a loyal army, man. Like, her like approval rating is like Nancy Pelosi level now. But the people who do like her, they really fucking like her, man. She's like, out of her 12 million followers, that, like, she got a lot of hate followers too, but she still has a large army that's under her gaze. And
most of their funding come from gentrified neighborhood. I remember, I gotta look up that study. Most of the squad funding, their support comes from gentrified neighborhoods, and this is why their followers will clap back on us when we say, "Hey, go push Medicare for all, go push this and that, stop gentrification, or et cetera, et cetera." They're trying to find some middle ground, or trying to find some way, you know what I'm saying, for everybody to be happy. Like, no, somebody's just gonna get left out, and we're tired of being left out, you know. But yeah, they're doing their job. They're speaking to their people for their people, you know. Gentrifiers, people in these rich communities, people who got enough money to give to politicians.
Wow. Yeah, thanks for the $4.99. We actually covered this. I covered this a long time ago. I don't mind always going over new information again, because sometimes we get new viewers. But yeah, make sure you gotta check that out. Like, she literally was in like Boston U, right? That's where they recruit for the CIA. And guys, she literally got a Netflix movie deal while she was not movie, but like the documentary. How do you get a Netflix documentary while you challenging Joe Crowley? Like, there's so many weird things that, and she also interned for Robert Kennedy, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of connections. That's just what I know on top of my head. I don't have it all memorized, but we covered this maybe a few months ago. We did cover that before, and that's just a short rundown.
Yeah. Why? Like we always say, bro, these people are only here for reasons, man. They're not gonna give you a platform like that They're not. Look, some of these platforms, excuse me, damn, are given. And even if you did have an organic fan base like that, you will be like they visit people's homes for Facebook posts. You don't think they will come to somebody with a platform like the FBI have came to me? You think they won't come to somebody running for office, challenging power? Come on now. What? How many examples of dead revolutionary leaders do you need to show you that they are only there for a reason? If you was a real black leader, they have a bullet for you, right? John Lewis, you won't die of no cancer of old age type shit. You're gonna get poisoned. You're gonna get shot in your bed, Fred Hampton, right? You're gonna get shot by your friend Malcolm X. How many fucking what is gonna put through you guys' mind? Like, if you was a real revolutionary leader with that type of platform, that type of shake on politics, you have to be controlled in some type of way. If you're not controlled right now, you will be controlled sooner or later. You facing Raytheon, Blackwater, and all of these, all these capitalists, these oil tycoons. You're not just, you know what I'm saying, you got power as a politician, but these people are the ones who write the laws for you. They
So last comment on AOC's video. So this was something that she did recently, right? Like, she just recently released that video. Like last week, JB? It is recent video?
Yeah, it's very recent. Yeah.
So hold up. So I will apologize if I'm wrong, because obviously I didn't watch the whole thing. But did she like address her voting for the $40 billion in Ukraine in that video? Guys, I've seen like Ted Cruz speak about this, where because his fiscal conservative, he had a lot of like quote unquote fiscal conservatives that support him. So they was asking him like, why the fuck are you sending our money to Ukraine? Like, there's a lot of people on the right. There's a lot of people who are on the right that's pissed off. Like, they are like the Tucker Carlson conservatives, because Tucker has been calling out the Ukraine. Like, he been getting that issue right. But I tell you guys, he get the issues right for the wrong reasons. But I'm not gonna lie, he has got the Ukraine issue right. He's been calling out the corruption on this war. So there's like this this percentage of Republicans who the Democrats call Putin sympathizers who get this issue right. So then they have been demanding Republicans like, why the fuck are you voting for this shit, right? So Ted Cruz, I saw the dude with the eye patch, Dan Crenshaw, he had to explain his vote. So I've seen a lot of people, all the Republicans who got pressure from the Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson Republicans. So they had to explain his vote. Guys, have you guys seen Bernie Sanders, AOC, Ilhan Omar, Pramila Jayapal? Have they even tried to explain the vote? What kind of shit is this? Like, you take money from working class people, but you don't explain your votes? Like, bro, if you take working class money, you should explain you should be on live stream explaining every single one of your votes, taking questions, but they don't even talk about it. I literally seen more corporate Democrats. And I tell you guys, I keep my eyes all over the Overton window, right? I think corporate Democrats explain this. They sound like shit. We gotta defend democracy. And I see Republicans say they all sound the same, right? But literally the only people I see run away from this issue who is not doing any press conferences about this, they're not tweeting about the rationalization. Like, Ro Khanna is the only one. And that was before the vote, when he was talking to Max Blumenthal. So my question is, why do they believe they are above answering their own constituency? That's the reason why I brought the Republicans. Even the Republicans are talking about it. I literally saw like conservatives pissed off. People I find to be deeply serious, but they're like, bro, what the fuck you doing with my money?
These Democrats be trying to use that shit, bro.
And they call
this is the horseshoe theory. This the horseshoe theory. It's a horseshoe. No, this is working class people pissed off because our money is going. Like, you're gonna find a lot of middle ground between a lot of fucking different people, right? Because for one, we all can agree that we need healthcare. We all can agree that our money shouldn't be going, especially billions, $80 billion, some shit going over there to Ukraine. We all agree. Most of Americans should agree with that, right? This is not no horseshoe theory type shit. This is just working class people pissed off because they don't get anything, but we get to see our money get sent off. We get to see weapons get developed. while our homes get torn down. This isn't no fucking horseshoe theory. I wish they would stop saying that bullshit. But then again, I'm talking to comfortable people, so whatever. It is what it is.
And I like see a lot of people want to hear the explanation. This is my tweet I sent yesterday. No, yesterday. See, got plenty of likes, so a lot of people want to hear the explanation. This was my tweet. Well, I was like, have anyone even tried to justify it? My last part, I was like, they have their supporters so well trained, they now believe they don't even owe an explanation for their shitty decisions. Instead of talking about why she sent that money to Ukraine, she went on live stream, was like, being a member of Congress is so hard. It's so corrupt. It's so corrupt. Will you stop bitching? What does this serve anyone other than PR? And that's why when I watch that video, other than PR, what the fuck does that serve? You need to be on live stream explaining your fucking votes, explaining your strategy. AOC, ma'am, the homelessness rate is skyrocketing. Wages are going down. People are hurt by inflation. What is your strategy so we can get progressive wins over the next few years? Like these are not changing. She on her live streams like, oh my god, it's so hard to be me. Woe is me. I'm only in the top 1% of 1% of privilege. Guys, if you are a member of Congress, you're one of the most privileged people in the world, period. And that's not me saying that. Even Ro Khanna said that. I mean, Ro Khanna was like, yeah, one of the reasons why I go on shows that he disagree with, because he has been on shows where he got grilled. Some show he will never go on our show, right? And he said one of the reasons why he does that, he like when you're a member of Congress, when you're in the top 1%, you're in the top 1% of 1%. And he kind of said the quiet part out loud. He like, I understand I'm privileged, right? Like there's top 1%, and then you're a member of Congress. That's next level with the benefits you get. So AOC get the same benefits that Ro gets. So if he understand that, AOC should understand this. But AOC is constantly like, woe is me. I am a victim. Like, I'm just tired, but sorry, go ahead. Like that video, god damn, man. God damn.
Okay, so first of all, I stand corrected.
No, JB, don't get me wrong. I get your point, bro. Like, I understand what you're trying to say, and there's a possibility that you're right. I'm not like going to get your point. I don't give him a lot of benefits.
I give her as a psychopath.
But I get what you're saying, JB. It wasn't like a hard disagree. I get what you're saying. I get what you're trying to say, bro. Go ahead.
She's a psychopath, bro. Like, if you can, how many votes does it take for us to call her a war criminal? You know what I'm saying? How many times does it take for her to vote president on important things? And people are like, oh, well, she voted to impeach Trump. Who gives a fuck? He was already out of there. Like that I don't care about that. If Trump not going to prison, because then Biden is going to prison, Bush going to prison, Obama going to prison, Carter going to prison. Y'all not going to lock Trump up. Let's be realistic about these things here. These people are psychopaths, and she's just playing her role, just like David Sirota punk ass. They're all doing that Hollywood bullshit, where they literally will get people killed and somehow be the heroes at the end of the day. At the end of the movie, they are the heroes with fucking buildings blowing up behind them, and they walking and putting their fucking shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm. So the point that I also wanted to make, about Marianne Williamson saying that you can vote out fascism. They are literally in the Supreme Courts. They're literally in the Supreme Courts. They are literally in the Court of Appeals. They are literally in the federal courts around the country. They are literally running the police forces. They are literally running the FBI. They are literally running the CIA. They are literally,
we can vote the CIA out. All we gotta do is vote hard in the CIA.
Oh, you want to know something about voting out the CIA? How did that work for JFK?
Like I said, man, how many examples of dead bodies do we need?
But that's the thing. It's like, okay, I understand your desire, I guess, to want to get rid of it. But the thing is that when it comes to things like this, you have to pull it out from the roots. That being said, really the only way to really truly do it is by tearing down the system. And some of us are trying to do it in a more piecemeal way, which I'm actually getting to a point where I'm kind of like, I don't think that's actually going to work. I'm starting to look at Rome, and I'm just like, maybe you got a more larger point than I thought you did. Because the thing is that every single time you try to do it in the civil way, it's like, how are you civil with a serial killer? How? How are you civil with war criminals? How are you civil with mass murderers? Why are we being civil to Henry Kissinger? Why are we being civil to people like George W. Bush? Why are we being civil to Madeleine Albright? Why are we being civil to people like Kamala Harris? Why are we being civil with them? The thing is that they weren't civil with us. Ask the 2 million Iraqis that are dead about civility. Ask our ancestors about civility. Ask the people in Honduras, Nicaragua, and Guatemala about civility. Ask people about Chile about civility. Ask the people in Vietnam about civility. Ask the people who are in Palestine about civility, or who are in Yemen, or Syria, or Afghanistan, or Iran. Ask them about civility. The thing is that there comes a point where, and I'm a very peaceful person, but the thing is that peace cannot be in the absence of justice. And the problem is that we're constantly trying to have this faux peace, but the thing is they're just trying to get you to shut up and accept the unacceptable. And we can no longer accept that.
Man, like, that's why I always say, always put it like this: how do you stop somebody from punching on you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that people are peaceful. We're going to need them peaceful people. We're going to need warm-hearted people. You know what I'm saying? In the revolution, we will need them to teach. We will need them to lead in other ways. But a revolution has many sanctions of people, and y'all got to let the front line be the front line. We have militant people that's out here that want the same things that you want. You know what I'm saying? But are willing to risk their mind, body, and soul for this. You know what I'm saying? Are actually willing to go out there. Like, I talk to people, and they said if we have the right plays, they are down for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are down to see the system down. And if we look at our country and be realistic about this, how many people they have killed? How many people they are killing today? How do we stop a murderer? We can't. How do we stop a mass shooter? I should say, because that's what America is to the country.
The police don't know how,
but it seems like the citizens do. The citizens does, and it's always there's always gonna be a front line of citizens that's willing to go out there to sacrifice their bodies for these causes. And we're going to need you warm-hearted people to probably run for office after we get these things done. We're going to need you guys to teach our children after these things are done, whatnot. But in order for these things to actually stop, in order for this chaos and these people to actually be stripped of power, there is no vote. There is no vote out there that will strip every capitalist of power. There is no vote that will take Elon Musk's money, Jeff Bezos' money, and give it to the people. There is no vote out there, but there is us. There is us, and we're going to be the ones that really the front line is going to take control and take over these things, and we're going to give these resources to the people who know what to do with them. You know what I'm saying? You warm-hearted. I ain't gonna say. I can't say that. You warm-hearted. Non-violent motherfuckers, I should say. We all got a place to fight in a revolution, but stop looking over here when y'all should be getting y'all shit together too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all should be getting y'all shit together. Like, okay, if these niggas over here is really serious about a revolution, then what is our role? You know what I'm saying? After they
Maybe.
tear down these people and certain people disappear, how can we?
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, maybe we're the cooks, and maybe we're the medics, and maybe we're the teachers. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm the type of person where let's be real. I I really want to push for this, but at the same time, I don't think I have the intestinal fortitude that some of my other comrades have. I don't know if I should say the intestinal fortitude. I don't think I have the type of personality that's fitted for that.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's like I want to do what I can. You know what I mean? So I think that there are some of us who are, correct for a revolution. But the thing is that revolution just doesn't have one certain type of person. There's multiple different types of us that are necessary in order to create a true concrete change within our nation. So I think exactly. I think I understand exactly where you're coming from, Rome.
Yeah, because proletarian, we want things.
Yeah.
It don't even take, like I always say, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. It doesn't even take a doctor to know how to treat a human being good, to do what's right. It doesn't take much. All it takes is for you to do right by the people. And you know, there are people that's going to be in this country that don't agree with, you know what I'm saying, but what a socialist or what a communist is and whatnot. But that's not up to us to even give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? We got to lead. We got to get them healthcare. We got to get them housing. So, like I always said this example, these capitalists, some of them are going to disappear. Some of them are going to come back. And when they come back, they're going to call us socialists. They're going to call us communists. They're going to say America is a communist country. And the people who hated communism and socialism and grew up saying, like, well, hold on, well, if this is socialism, I have a house. I didn't have a house 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have walkable cities. We didn't have drinkable water. If this is socialism, then shit, keep them capitalists away. So it's up to us to change their minds with solutions overall, the people that don't agree with us. But there's gonna be militant acts. But this is another thing.
Thank you.
That I pointed out to a couple of my white comrades that we actually have to get a lot of things aligned before we can bring a revolution to the table. Because right now we're still seeing mass shootings. We're still seeing, white supremacist groups. They are grouping up by the numbers, and it's a lot. Our white comrades have a lot on their plate, but y'all have to do something with it. Y'all really have to get out here and teach your people, because if we was to spark a revolution, more likely your people is going to turn against us, because because there's illusion of capitalism is good and socialism is bad, and anti-fascist is bad and whatnot. There's going to be a lot of people turning their guns against other working class people and not actually targeting the people who should be taken care of, I should say. So we got a lot of work to do, and that's what we are. That's what a lot of people, black people, keep saying. Like, we don't want revenge, we want liberation. And liberation is good for a lot of us. We won't have to live in each other communities. You know what I'm saying? The black communities can just be the black communities. White community, we can have it how we want it. We can build it how we want it. We know that there's going to be certain segregations and certain separations under socialism, and rightfully so, because we can't even learn to live with each other. But until then, we got a lot of work to do. And my white comrades, don't be afraid of these. Don't be afraid of your cousin. Don't be afraid of your police officers and your families and whatnot. Fight back against them and teach them, or call them out and call them white supremacists. Call them what they are. Until they face reality and say, okay, what can I do to actually stop it? Because I thought becoming a police officer was going to stop crime. You know what I'm saying? Teach them how we actually supposed to control crime, control the drug trade. People are going to get high. People are going to do this and that, but we can control crime better than anybody can ever try to stop it. And country. I'm sorry, I'm just a little ranting. What's that? Where all the fucking drugs is legal? Amsterdam. Look at their crime. Look at their overdose rates compared to ours, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? The diseases that people get, even the literacy. We have to control. We have to control this stuff because it's here. It's a part of us. It's a part of human nature and whatnot.
Yeah,
and you can't stop it. That's just stupid to even think that you can stop impulse. Because a lot of
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to Colin. Colin, he's been making some fire points. Thank you also for the super chat earlier. I deeply appreciate it. Colin says we need both MLK and Malcolm X type figures for the revolution to happen. I just want to say, one of the people, besides, Nick and Rome and everybody at RBN, Sabi, Josana, CJ, people at INN, and people part of MCSC and all these different, new left networks have been behind me. And I deeply appreciate all of you because you guys have been real ones, definitely. And then a lot of people who are viewers of ours have been deeply supportive. And so I just want to say thank you. But yeah. So is there, before we go, because we're at our 2-hour mark and, JB is hungry. Yeah, I like to eat. Can you tell? But let me go to because I don't want to share the screen because it's gonna look all wonky. But I want to go to the poll that I took for this stream. And the poll was, can fascism be voted out? Let me see. I'm trying to get it up on my phone. My phone is working very, very slow today. I don't know why. Okay. So, I had the full disclosure. I accidentally voted yes. My finger slipped and I voted yes. That was stupid. I don't know why my finger did that, but whatever.
What poll is
it? It's a poll on this video.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. It says, can fascism be voted out? 8% for yes is actually lower than that because I was supposed to click no, but my finger. Anyway, and then the no.
Yeah, 450 votes.
I'm so disappointed. I am so disappointed in you guys. You learn nothing from us. You have learned nothing. I am so disappointed. You get in the corner, hold out your hands, and put fucking dictionaries on.
I think 8% of people who watch us. I think that's a good number of hate watchers. Like I refuse to believe that people who actually support our work. Yeah, bro. So to be fair, if I was asked what percentage of our viewers are people who watch our show because they hate watching it, maybe they're liberals who stumbled in on accident. I would say maybe 8%. And it just so happens that 8% said we can vote out fascism. So I think it worked out.
Yeah. I tried to reverse it, but for some reason, but my finger slipped. But the no's were 92% out of 457 votes. So almost, damn near close to 500 votes. So, but yeah, I honestly think that, that's indicative of where, look, you gotta put that meme up with Nick with that serious face and that says "Batic alert," because that was a that was a bad take. That was a bad take. Thanks, Alex.
I see somebody said I just want to address this before we go, because I don't want people thinking I'm a segregationist, I'm a separationist, but. If you was to actually get in touch with these communities, indigenous people don't want to live with the white community. Black people don't, they still want their own communities and whatnot. And we're going to have to oblige to what these communities are asking for. This world is bigger than what we want separately, so we got to, it's a lot of work to do, get out there and talk to your community and you will understand where a lot of these things is going, and that's why we say land back, because what are we to do with all this land after the revolution? Are we going to hold it back from the indigenous? Are we going to hold it back from the blacks? Are we going to hold? Like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
So we're going to redistribute, and they're going to do what the fuck they want with their land, and they're going to create their own societies.
Yeah, and I can only speak for myself, but I do want to be clear. I 100% believe in MLK's vision of the Rainbow Coalition, because I really do believe that we should join together to take over the ruling class. But a lot of what Rome and what a lot of these people in these disenfranchised communities are saying is legitimate. And what a lot of white leftists need to understand, that the capitalist class have acted as a colonizer for decades. So when we say we want our own community, I'm not saying that like you can't be in it. It's just we need our own shit that is not gentrified by white America. So don't get in your feelings when we say, yo, we need our own community, we need our own movements. That's not us saying fuck you, bro. That is saying we're tired of U.S. empire, we're tired of white dominant society dictating our lives. We can't escape from it, and we want to be able to escape from it. And I'm not trying to misrepresent what wrong. That's my interpretation of it. And my position has always been, I stand with my Palestinian brothers and sisters, Latino brothers and sisters, the white working class that go through a lot of the same shit that we go through. We need to join together to destroy the empire. But at the same time, man, we got to be able to have our community without us being infiltrated by the mainstream dominant white American culture. Because honestly, the shit for the birds, and that's just for me. That's just my opinion. I think it's highly overrated.
I'm pretty sure all three of us is living through some time. We all living through gentrification right now. That's crazy. With the Kansas, I'm so happy that your city is fighting back, because that's going to be beautiful to see when I'm down there. JB,
hell yes, that's the future. That's what CJ's talking about right now. Like, we trying to get this shit started. You know, Rome is down. Like, we got a lot planned for the end this year. Like, as we continue to grow as a network, that's why I actually got to support the Patreon and stuff, because as we get resources to travel and shit, like, we're gonna be literally help organize the strikes, boycotts. I'm gonna help Casey Tennis as much as I can. I literally want to start a movement for Liana Hill in Kansas City. Yes. We just don't have the funds. We don't have the power yet. So, but as RBN grow, we're not gonna just be everything you think of in terms of left network because of TYT majority report. Throw it out. Like, that's not what RBN is gonna be about. We're gonna be on the ground. Like I was on the ground with RBN. Rome was on the ground all the time. JB was organizing March for Medicare for All. We had 5 speakers for the March for Medicare for All event from RBN. You guys know that? So we come on here on YouTube to have fun, laugh, educate, learn. But I want you guys to take it to the streets. That's always the message of this show. Mm-hmm. Take the outrage you get on the show, take the laughs you take on the show, and hit the streets. Find a local organization in your area. That's always will be our message. And like me and CJ, we talking. We're gonna talk more tonight. And me and Rome playing events here. Like, bro, guys, stay tuned. Like, we're gonna be in this fight, and they're gonna have to fucking kill us or something. Because we got a lot more planned. But
you make it, like, I understand that, like, I don't agree with a lot of these communist parties. I don't like them. You know, I don't agree with their goals to get communism in America. You know what I'm saying? Full on. So I just made my own party. Like, just make your own shit. It's not hard. They just make it look hard because they don't want you to get the idea. You know, and a lot of us are washed down to want everything to happen right then and there. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna have to fight for it if you really want it. If you're really gonna lead it, be the leader. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Hang on. I'm gonna address this. Yes, they will. They will.
They're killing us right now.
No, ask the Ferguson protest.
What's the difference between this and the last 60, 70 years? But at least we go down swinging. At least we go down swinging for our own liberation, right? We're not just going to lay down and say no, because the thing is that we literally have children right now, and some of us are, having grandchildren who are also going to have to live through this, and we don't want that. So, yeah, they're going to do it, but yes, it's going to happen to us. A lot of us have already accepted that fate. The thing is that it's because we are not willing to accept a fascist state that has been plaguing us for centuries. Fascism is Tuesday for us. It's Tuesday for us because guess what? Look at our ancestors. What did they go through? Look at during Jim Crow. Look at how we've been subject to this occupational military force called the police all the time. Look, you can't even save your kids because the police refused to go in there, and then the same courts went ahead and said, "Oh, well, the police don't have an actual constitutional duty to protect you." So, with that being the case, then I guess We Save Us goes nationwide. In fact, not even. It goes worldwide because white supremacy is a global problem.
And Tom is a white supremacist. This man, he's one of those white men, if he's a real person, that fears black revenge. Even though black people, if little to no black people actually spoke on revenge. I haven't seen anybody with the platform actually speak on revenge.
We just want equity and equality.
Yeah, and we see that we will not get this from this country. So what he does is, you know what I'm saying, he's going to say, oh, well, you guys just want your own brand of fascism or some bullshit. He just said, like, no, you just want fascism to continue like this because it made you comfortable. It made you comfortable enough to sit here and talk to black men like this.
Yeah, we don't have to give a troll too much time at the end of the show. But just know we're not advocating for fascism.
Mm-hmm.
If the dictatorship of the proletariat, the greatest form of democracy that gives us power over our resources, is what you call fascism, you just rob that word of all its meaning. Yes, I want power to my community, and I would never apologize for it. To be clear, this is not a debate. This is not a negotiation. When I call for the end of U.S. empire, when I call for the dictatorship of the proletariat, when I call for seizing the means of production, this is something I am trying to develop an army so we can get done. I'm not trying to win you over. I just love when they squirm. We're like, so that's how I would end that. I don't want to get too much time to these people.
Oh, yeah.
But go ahead, JB.
But I just want to say one of the things I have coming up is on my channel later this evening. I actually did the first reading of Dirty Truths by Michael Parente on my channel. So that should be coming out later this evening. So you guys can enjoy that. Also, earlier today, I put in the link to the PDF of Black Shirts and Reds by Michael Parente in the chat. Though, if you guys can actually buy the book, I'd rather you guys buy the book. But if you can't, I put it in the chat just in case if you can't afford it. But if you guys have a couple extra bucks, then look, Michael Parente is a great writer, great professor. Then, if you can, use your money to support him, in that way and purchase his book, then if you can do that way and then have a hard copy of his book, then I'd rather you guys do that. But in the meantime, if you can't afford it, then I put the link to the PDF of the entire book in the chat as well, just for all of you guys.
And if you got them, just smoke them. Yeah, I'm taking your smoke them if you got them.
After they delete my stream, I spent 3 hours on this goddamn stream. Of course, I need a way to relax, so I had to crack.
They coming after your ass, boy.
Bro, every time, bro, I literally spent 3 hours because I explained Lula's position on the Ukraine war. So in order to back him up, we was debunking that shit for 3 hours. And it just so happens, every single time I debunk the Ukraine narrative, that's when they pull the stream. And then they're like, copyright, bitch. We get copyrights all the damn time. Everyone get copyright strikes all the time. They never take your stream down. They usually just demonetize you if you get copyright. But then whenever I debunk the Ukraine narrative, then they say, oh, we're going to pull your stream because of copyright. What the fuck? We didn't play no fucking videos. But anyway, sorry, that's my rant on that. So I had to go join JB today to make up for that. I was fucking pissed. God damn it, Zoya, we cannot. It's on Rumble. Go to our Rumble, Revolutionary Blackout Rumble. All our live streams are posted on there. So that's where the live stream is now. I'm gonna post clips on YouTube because it's been deleted from existence.
And I'm bringing back Tommy's Corner on call in. I'll be
bet. Let's go.
Okay.
Shit. What's today's day? Fuck, I gotta call Anita.
Today's the 5th.
I'm coming back the 6th. I'm coming back the 16th. So Communist Corner is coming back. I'm going to be doing weekly shows on there, on call-in, so y'all can join me on there, talk some shit, ask some questions. You know, we can really get some stuff planned. If you want to join, Tour for the Poor, you want to make your own organization, you know what I'm saying? Ask how I went at it and whatnot. You know, you can just call in, add us on call in RBN. What's that one called? RBN Discourse. I got it right here. Hold on.
Oh, Salgado.
Here's the.
I'm gonna share the link again.
Thank you.
But Salgado is Black Shirts and Reds by Michael Parente.
Can I just shout? I just want to shout out the Rumble real quick, JB. This is our Rumble, Red Black Network. This is the live stream we did yesterday that was pulled. So if you guys want to see it, I'll link it. I'll link it in the chat, and I'll probably link it again eventually.
Yeah.
But make sure you guys follow the Rumble. This is our live stream we did. Thank God we signed the Rumble, so I can at least have it somewhere linked. So anyway, that's the last thing I gotta plug because I know we gotta wrap up here.
Yeah, and add us. It's RBN Roundtable. I'm calling it. Well, that's what it say.
Yeah. Just a shout out to people who are watching on Rockfin. Shout out to all of you guys that are watching. Let me see. Drew Tech says, I'm fairly certain fascism was never voted in the first place. So how do you vote out something that was never technically invited by voters? Great point. OTR Trucker says, got it right. We never voted fascism in. How are we going to vote it out? And then Lady Alex is also in the chat as well. And then Crone of Anarchy says, Lucy Parsons said a while ago, with my 2 additions, never be deceived that the rich, fascists, will allow you to vote away their wealth or power. We need to start a Lucy Parsons society. So thank you so much for all the support on Rockfin as well. All right. So with that, please sure to also tune in to the JB show. I'm sorry. Yeah, the JB Font channel this Tuesday, where we will have some further good discussions. Like I always say, water your plants, water yourselves.
Make sure y'all subscribe to JB. Y'all missing out. Y'all missing out, man. I saw that conversation you had with Delilah. Love Delilah. So you guys missing out a lot of good content on JB's channel too. You guys see Savage killing it. JB's killing it on the channel too. So make sure you guys subscribe to him.
Thank you so much. And leave the world better than you found it. And just like Nick and Rome, smoke them if you got them, baby.
Oh yeah,
that's
somebody
right.
Gave me a fucking pound of weed, nigga. I'm about to smoke.
Bro, I saw that, bro. I was so jealous. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
I was like, I thought he was gonna sell like an ounce or something. It's like, god damn, man.
God damn.
That's up.
I saw that. I was like, god damn, this ain't wrong. Anyway.
Hey, just a question though. What if people started burning weed like incense?
They do.
And just had it in. Really?
They got weed scented incense.
Really?
Yeah, cannabis scented, all that shit. You can order all that shit on Google.
We got much to show you, my brother. We got much to show you.
Oh yeah.
A whole new world. A dazzling place I never knew. By everyone, and I'll get high later.